Hi, everybody. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's vlog post. Sitting here on Thursday before a extremely long 4th of July weekend. In fact, probably about as long a 4th of July weekend as you can get as we're sitting here on Thursday and people are already starting to leave. And 4th of July really isn't until next Tuesday. It's going to be a pretty long 4th of July celebration weekend. And I think that's great. It's been a challenging year for a lot of people, and I think this holiday is, well deserved, should be well recognized, and we should all take some time to appreciate the great country that we live in. And despite all the challenges and issues, no better place in the world to try to make your mark than here. And the brave patriots back 250 years ago, had a lot going on to make that happen. And I, do want to take time to appreciate that, recognize that, and understand if, you haven't looked into all the things that happened pre-Revolutionary War, Revolutionary War, and then what it took to get the country started and to keep it running. It's pretty awesome to be part of all that in some small way. So with that in mind, I know some of you are going away and you're planning on being unplugged. And if that's the case, great. Enjoy your time with your friends and your family. For those of us that are staying behind and planning on doing some work, my quote has always been, if you're going to work, work. And if you're not going to work, then take off. And you don't have to be out there, 8-10 hours a day, over the next week. But you do have to show up. You do have to create awareness. You do have to have conversations. You do have to put in some effort. And I think that the keys here, and I broke it down to 4 little sections to deal with today, is the first section is to let people know that you are working, that you are available. Connect today, tomorrow, over this weekend with your referral partners, with your clients, with the builders you work with. Heck, even other lenders, people within your own company, people within other companies that that may be going away, that you can help cover for, that you can be available if they need help. If you're going to be around, let people know. So it's important to let people know that you're working. And again, you don't have to work the full day. We check in the morning. We set times in the day that we're going to respond to emails. We physically get out there. And do the job, but it doesn't have to, you don't have to pound the streets for 8 to 10 hours. Which brings me to the second point, and that is get out and be visible. If you're not going to create actual visibility, sending an email blast to everybody that saying, hey, I'm working this weekend, pretty useless. That doesn't resonate. It doesn't really impact people. Picking up the phone, making those calls is nice, but why don't you get out today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon? You can't necessarily have, events and things to do at all times. You can go a few days this weekend and establish a physical presence, just popping in places to say hello, swinging by some open houses. I'm sure there are going to be a few of those around this weekend. Maybe even talk to some of your realtors, especially in those areas where you're facing inventory challenges. Going to be people around this weekend. Why don't you get out there and potentially set up some door knocking opportunities Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Holiday is until Tuesday. So people are going to be around. Why wouldn't you go out and help somebody else also be visible? But it's all about doing these things so that you can start a conversation. It's about creating the beginning of a dialogue, whether you're talking about the real estate market, whether you're talking about inventory challenges, when you're talking about what the opportunities might be to sell a house, to buy a house, to move up, to move down, trade across, investment properties, second homes, whatever it is. But those opportunities aren't just in real estate. What about debt consolidation? And I know a lot of people saying, oh, you're crazy with rates. Why would anybody refinance to a higher rate? And the answer is what I've always told you. Don't worry about what the rate is. What's the total payments? if you can refinance somebody and pay off a lot of 15, 20, 25% credit card debt, those people who wrap themselves into huge car and truck loans that, you know, 700, 800, $1,000 or more a month, maybe refinancing and paying off that loan and stretching out those payments, while economically not a great move, it will lower their total monthly cost significantly. I mean, think how much mortgage money you can borrow for $1,000 a month. You know, you're stretching that out over a 30-year term versus a 5 or 7 year term on a vehicle loan. That becomes really important to look at and understand that, again, a lot more refinance activity going on than people would believe right now. And not everybody and their brother has 3%, 2% mortgage loans. So there's a, believe it or not, you know, and all that stuff where loans will fall from the sky, you know, a good percentage of people never refinanced out of their existing loans at the time because they didn't think it mattered. And so they didn't do it. Maybe it matters now, especially with being faced with student loan repayments, inflation, and all this other things that are going on that are really impacting family budgets. Maybe refinancing is something that could help them significantly. Also, while you're out there talking, remember the fundamental core processes about expanding our database and the value that we can present back to our clients and our referral partners, which is collecting those nines and tens. People still need people who are exceptional at what they do. And now is not the time, even though we've hit the summer, now is not the time to back off doing that. Because as hard as it may be to believe, many of you are already in a 45-day window before the kids go back to school. And think about that. How many of these people have thought and planned that when the summer came, they were going to sell their house and buy the next one, make the move all before the kids had to go back to school? Well, we've talked about this. When do your kids go back to school? When is that 45-day window when, you know, that can all happen and you can help make it happen, especially most of you who can turn loans very quickly, you know, being able to be there and say, yes, there is still time to reach out there, sell your house, buy the next one, and get moved in. And last but not least, don't forget the follow-up after having done all these activities this weekend, after having done all this work, making all the calls, making all the visits, doing all the work, making your presence known, having all those conversations. Don't forget one of the most critical pieces of all this, which is next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to follow up with the people that you spoke to this weekend and see how things went. What did they do? What did they see? What kind of activity happened? What do you need to know about? Because I am sure that everybody that you know, everybody that I know, somewhere along the line this weekend, in the next 4 to 5 days, or you know, whatever this weekend, is going to be involved in multiple, if not many, social interactions. There may be stuff they're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before they go back to work. All of those people are going to be surrounded by other people. Those people are going to have experiences and opportunities and situations and all that stuff. And getting out in front of that and making sure that you connect with your social circle so that they are in a position to connect you with their social circle could be extremely important. And before you know, say that, oh, you know, nothing's happening in this market, whenever, I don't want to keep hearing or belaboring the issue. But if you are not seeing your fair share of contracts, if you're not seeing purchase opportunities, if you're not doing refis, if you're not doing business right now, it's not because there isn't business to do. It's because you're not getting out enough. You're not speaking to enough people. You're not putting yourself out there, because the people who are going out there and working right now, they're doing loans, and they're doing good loans, and they're you know, making great connections and enjoying the process. And you know, there is no excuse for not going out there and being part of it. You just need to get out there and go do the work. And if you're having issues, if you're having challenges, if you don't know the strategies, if you don't know what the other people are doing to get in front of those opportunities, it's simple. You sit at your keyboard and you send me an email, mike@intcoaching.com. Let's have a conversation and let's see if we can get you on the path. So have yourself a great 4th of July weekend. Go have some fun, be careful, be safe, enjoy yourself, and I'll talk to you again next week. Take care.